Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to an all new episode of Let's Stay Together. It's so nice to finish off the week hanging out with you guys, and I'm so excited for my guest tonight. Danielle Rose Russell is an amazing actress. She's the star of Legacies on the CW. So we're going to have a fun conversation. We're going to talk all about the show and her character and so much more, and dive into a really fun conversation about the whole Vampire Diaries world and so on. So get comfy, and hopefully you have a nice Friday night snack or beverage, and let me get Danielle right now.
Hi,
Hey Danielle, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
No, of course, the pleasure's all mine. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, have you had a crazy day filming? Because I know you were filming and then you rushed to do this. So how was your day?
No, I mean, thank you, and thank you for waiting for me. I didn't film today. I had a bunch of like stunt rehearsals, ADR, fitting, and then we literally just finished our cast table read or virtual read through. So yeah, so pushing 15 minutes really helped.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made it. And, I started the show a year ago, back in March, when COVID shut the whole world down, because I wanted people to have a place that they can turn to every week for some joy and hope and inspiration, and to hear from people that they love. So thank you again for being here.
No, like I said, I'm so excited to be here.
For sure. And your fans sent me some great questions. So to everybody tuned in, I'll be asking some fan questions at the end of the interview. But if you're ready to rock, we have a lot to get to.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, first off, congratulations to you on the success of Legacies. You're currently in season 3. I know news recently broke about a season 4 pickup, which is amazing. So bringing it back for a minute, what was it that initially attracted you to wanting to be a part of this Vampire Diaries world?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it sort of just happened. I was auditioning a lot at the time, and I never really knew that there was another spinoff of the Vampire Diaries going on. And so when I got the audition, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, they're doing a spinoff of the show. And I looked into it a little bit, but I really was not expecting to be a part of the universe. But then as I read for Hope more and more, I really felt connected with the character and excited to kind of step into her shoes for a little bit. Yeah, then it all kind of just happened in a very short period of time.
Wow, was it a long audition process for you, or were you having to reach for other parts, or it was kind of always hope and you just nailed it?
No, I mean, it was always Hope for me, and it happened over the span of like 2 weeks, I'd say, which I feel like you hear pretty often when it comes to certain things like this. Like, it's usually things change like in the blink of an eye. Yeah, so I auditioned for her and didn't hear anything, got a call back like 4 days later. There were a bunch of other girls there at the time. I was like, oh, I'm definitely not gonna get this. Like, I'm not the type. But yeah, and then I'd say a day or two went by, and I spoke with Julie and some of the other producers on the originals at the time via, I guess, Zoom. And yeah, I got an offer for it, and then the rest was history. I literally, like, I think I signed my deal on a Friday, and I flew out to Atlanta to start filming on Tuesday.
Oh my God, wow, complete whirlwind, right?
Completely, yeah.
Well, Hope is a fan favorite. She's a tribrid, right? A werewolf, a vampire, and a witch. She is the daughter of Klaus and Haley and a total badass. So what do you love about getting to play this character?
I really love growing with her. I mean, I've never gotten to actually spend time in a character before this. And so it's been a really challenging, but also like rewarding experience for me as an actress. And that's the beauty of TV, you know what I mean? But yeah, just kind of watching her grow and change throughout the seasons has been such a joy, and getting to kind of keep up with her and bring new things to her has been really wonderful and exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you started, of course, in the original. So I'm curious to know when and I guess how did you find out that you would be moving on from the originals to then starring in your own spin-off show with the Legacies? And did you ever imagine that happening or see that coming?
No, I mean, In a way I did, because I signed my contract for the originals for only a year, I believe. And so they knew at that time that they were gonna, I guess, finish the show, and I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, it's a little weird. And then they came back to me and offered me the contract of a Untitled Julie Plec show, playing the same character, and if it were to go to a spinoff. And so at the time I signed it, and they were literally like, here you go, here's your television show, like, do you want it? And so it's like, I mean, how can I refuse that? And so I signed my contract, didn't really think much of it. And then I got to set on the originals, and people kind of started to talk about it a lot more. And the character really began to develop on the show. And her life at the Salvatore School was sort of thread into the season 5, I'd say. But it became very clear to me by the end of season 5 that this was something they were seriously considering. So I didn't find out, though, that we were going to series until like 2 months before we started filming season 1. So I was like really in the dark about it, just like everybody else was, for a long time.
Wow, that's amazing. And going on, well, you're on your 3rd season, but now you have a 4th as well coming up. You should be so proud of what you've built with this character, and you know, all the work you put into her. And she's had some epic, amazing scenes. So what are some of your favorite moments for your character, or scenes that you'll always kind of carry with you and never will forget?
Yeah, I mean, Hope is a badass. Like, I love playing her badass side. It's probably my favorite color of hers to play. I really love, in the very beginning of the show, watching Hope's struggle with her vulnerability with Landon. That was some of my favorite stuff. And I actually really love season 3 between Hope and Landon, because it's very different. And I think that we're going to see that relationship change Hope so much. And I'm like, we just did the table read for episode 12. And so I was like reading it with everybody, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to like kind of tease what I'm going to get to do in this interview, because I'm so excited to see or to show you guys where Hope and Landon are going. So that's some of my favorite stuff is yet to come. It's what I'm trying to say without giving anything away.
That's awesome. What a great tease. Yeah, fans love following your journey with Landon throughout the series. And I know a lot's happened recently with that relationship. So up to this point, we'll say, how are you feeling with how things have unfolded between you and Landon on the show?
I'd say that it's, I think that this is a long time coming between the characters, kind of everything that's happened this past season. I actually always felt like it was a bit dragged out to get to this point that I can't really share with you. But I have teased that things are changing a lot this year for these two characters as individuals and within their relationship. So seeing them grow up and, you know, really face some real shit it's so exciting.
Yeah. Oh my God. I imagine that's so fulfilling as an actor too, to like finally have those moments where, you know, you get to, like you said, see your character grow up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Landon has been such a huge part of her character arc, and I am now really enjoying getting to see how that's unfolding for her. I mean, she's almost, I don't even know. They haven't really established an age for the character, but she's 18 now. And so, you know, we first met her when she was 15, and seeing that relationship develop over 3 years is something's bound to go crazy. Something.
Oh yeah, and especially a show like this, it's so much fun and it can go in a million different directions. And what I like about this show too is all the different, you know, supernatural beings that pop up, from gargoyles to dragons and so much more. And that kind of differentiates this show from some of the others. So how is it, you know, exploring that and waiting to see what other creature is going to come up next?
Yeah, no, I mean, we have an amazing department who does all of our creature stuff and monster stuff, and they're just so talented, and I'm always amazed when I see their work. It is really cool because we do a lot of, like, a lot of real stuff. A lot of it's not CGI. So that's kind of fun. I feel like we kind of do a blast of the past in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, every episode has its own feel because of the monsters. I feel like each monster brings something very different to the story and to each character. So I'm never bored. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And people loved following you and Joseph Morgan, who obviously plays Klaus on the show, played Klaus. Love seeing you guys together on screen. And you guys are so dynamic together. You're amazing actors. You're so charismatic together. So what has been some of your favorite parts about getting to work with Joseph? And are you hopeful that somehow he might pop back into something in the future?
I mean, of course. I mean, he's such a talented actor, and working with talented actors is what makes this job worth it. I don't know if it would fit his storyline. I don't know if he would want that either. So it would really have to be something special and unique, I think, for it to make sense. But I would never want to do anything if it didn't make sense. But of course, selfishly, I would love to work with him again.
Yeah, he came on the show, and you could tell he's just like such a brilliant mind. And like I said, watching you two together, it's some of people's favorite scenes throughout the different, franchises. So I imagine working together must just be a blast.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that was probably some of, if not my favorite, I guess, relationship that Hope has gotten to have. It felt so rich and real and sophisticated, I guess, for being in a supernatural world. So yeah, I mean, I would love to explore that more, even if Joseph decided not to come back on the show, even if it was just Hope dealing with her father and his loss. Like, that is just some of my favorite stuff to play.
Yeah, and the cast, you guys seem like a really tight-knit family. I think it's so much fun when you watch shows like this, and I stand by this. I believe you can look at a cast and feel like if they truly get along on and off camera. And it seems like you guys are super tight, which always makes it more fun as a viewer to watch. So how is it working with everybody, and how is it being in a supernatural show, period? Is it as fun as it seems?
I don't know. I mean, yes, of course. It's so much fun. But I feel like when you're actually on set, like if all the fans got to be on set and watch like a day's worth of filming, they'd be like, oh, this is how they do it. Nowhere near as cool as I thought it would be. I mean, it's fun for us, of course. Like I said, we are never bored. But yeah, no, we have a really great camaraderie on the set, and everyone's just in it together, especially during these times.
Right.
And everyone is super professional and respectful. So yeah, we all work together really well.
Yeah, that's so nice to hear. Over the years, you've gotten to dig into this character and play her and get to know her really well, from the originals to Legacy. So how would you describe your overall journey playing her and with her?
Challenging. I'd say challenging because, I mean, this is my 4th year playing this character. And like I mentioned before, I had never really gotten to truly be with a character for so long. And, like we definitely have some sense of collaboration from the actors to the writers, but not enough to where we're writing our own stories. And so seeing how, other people write the characters, it's always like we have to catch up because they're 5 steps ahead of us.
Right.
So I'd say that it's challenging in that way because like I'm doing, we're starting episode 12 soon, and I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. So I don't know where my head is at or where my head should be at for the character in this moment, only for a couple episodes ahead of where I'm at now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's challenging, but really rewarding.
And what have you learned about yourself through playing her?
I never knew I could work so hard. I guess, like, I really never knew that I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. No, I had wanted to really just give myself to a character, and this is the first time I've gotten to do that. And, I, of course, want to continue to do it in my career in many different ways. But I also really fell in love with the genre, with the, like, fantasy supernatural genre, which I was never truly a fan of before, if I admit. But yeah, I've really kind of fallen in love with mythology and lore in that kind of realm.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I imagine the more you're in it, the more kind of interested and fascinated you get with it, right?
Yeah, because I feel like we have Easter eggs to so many different, like, I don't know, fantasy niches, like if that's the word to describe it. So it makes it exciting.
Yeah, that's so great. And what do you think the legacy of this show is going to be? What do you hope people walk away feeling, you know, when they get through watching all the episodes up to date? What do you think it stands for?
That's a good question. I feel like this show, I think like us on this end can look back and say we did it all. Like we've done everything, you know what I mean? So I think that that's definitely something, if that makes sense, that I feel like the show will have for me, is that I got to do so much. And I think for the fans as well, because we really aren't a super structured show. We're not really married to one thing or another. So I think anything's possible. And I hope that by the end of the series, you know, whenever that is, fans can feel like they have been satisfied as well with everything that they want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I definitely think they will be feeling satisfied based on the work you guys have done and where you seem to be going. And I know you kind of touched upon this earlier, and you can't say much, but is there any other teases for season 3 you can kind of just like sprinkle us with?
Other than I'm so excited about it, I don't know. I don't know. I think besides the fact that I think our show's going to do almost a complete 180 in a lot of ways.
Wow.
Yeah, I really do. I really think that this is a season that is going to change the direction of our show going forward, which I'm super excited about. And we have some really great episodes coming, and I can't say which ones, obviously, but I've been seeing cuts, and they're just, it's all looking so good.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I know many people are excited for that. And speaking of the fans, let me get to a few fan questions before I let you go. And these were the most popular ones that I received when I announced you as my guest. First one being, do you think Hope identifies more with Klaus or with Haley?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's changed throughout the years. Initially, I felt like she identified more with Haley because, you know, her mom was obviously a lot more in her life and involved in her life. But as the show has gone on and is continuing to progress, I'm seeing more Klaus in her, which I love. But I'd say from like season 2 to season 3, it's been a pretty even mix.
Okay. All right. I almost feel like you teased a little something there, but, you know, we'll leave it as is.
I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I love it. The second most popular question, lots about the musical episode. What was filming that like? Do you love to sing? Can we get more singing from you in the future? All of those singing related questions I saw blowing up my DMs.
Oh, that's so sweet. No, that episode was so much fun to film. I had so much more fun with that episode than I thought I was going to have. That was the episode, though, that we shut down. So we filmed most of the episode, back in March of last year. And all of the Salvatore musical performances we never got to film. We recorded all the songs and everything, but we never got to film it until October of this past year. So it was kind of like lingering over my head for a long time, and I have a little bit of stage fright, so it's a little nerve-wracking for me, but yeah, no, I really, really loved filming it at the end of it. I felt like, okay, I've accomplished it. I did it. I sang in front of the world. I don't know if I would do it again for the character. I feel like it would really have to make sense for me to do it. I would never want to force anything that didn't make sense.
For sure, but props to you for doing it. I don't know if I could get up and sing. Like, that's just not my thing, so I can only imagine. You know, that takes courage.
Thank you. No, I know. I was a sweaty mess the whole time, and there's a moment where Landon and Hope, like, hug at the very end, and I, like, had to preface to Aria. I was like, Aria, I'm so sorry, but I'm so nervous. I'm sweating right now. And so every time he would pick me up and I just like had my arms around him, it was like, I was a sweaty mess. It was kind of a disaster, but it looked great. It looked seamless. So
there you go. Yeah, I'd be a puddle on the floor, so whatever. You rocked it, and good for you. Okay. 2 more fan questions. One is, are there any storylines you wish you could have gone even further with?
Oh, interesting. Yes, I really wish I got to explore Hope and the Necromancer a little bit more, weirdly. I always kind of had this idea that I would love the Necromancer to be like specifically out to torture Hope, and just because, you know, she's lost so many people. So the Necromancer is kind of like her worst nightmare. And we did one episode together in season one, and Ben, who plays the Necromancer, he's such a talented actor. Um, but I never really got to go farther with it, which I wish I did. But yeah.
Interesting. Good answer. Yeah, I like that question. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
And then the last fan question, what is something you've always felt passionate about?
Oh,
I love that.
I love that too. And it's so hard to answer because I feel like I'm passionate about so many different things.
Right.
You know, I feel like that's a difficult question for me to answer because I'm doing my passion. Like the thing that I'm most passionate about is being an actress and being in film and TV. But I don't know, spreading positivity, I'd say. Like on a more real level, I'm really, really passionate about the fact that there's just so much negativity in the world all the time. And kindness goes a long way, especially right now, and just spreading love and positivity is huge for me recently. So
Well, I love that you brought that up because something I so admire about you is you do use your platforms for the good and you speak on things that matter. And I know body positivity is something that's important to you and you have a big youthful audience. And I think that's such an important message to put out there. So why is that something you chose to speak about? And then what do you want your fans to know who are watching?
yeah, I know it's a great question. You know, body positivity is something to me that, you know, I've been affected by. You know, I've faced a lot of negativity in the past from it. So getting to be someone to say, like, you can be successful and not look like, you know, what society tells you you need to look like. And you can love yourself. Like, you have permission to love yourself as you are. Is something that I want to spread to my audience. I know I have a lot of, you know, young audience. So any kind of message that I can spread that I'm like, hey, I'm just like you, means something to me. But, you know, I'd say in the last year, the conversations have shifted. And, you know, as much work that I can do to be a voice in all of this, you know, I just, you know, I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all are, but again, I love that you put that out there. I think it's so important. I know in your Instagram bio it says spread kindness, I believe.
Spread love, I think.
Or
Yeah,
spread love.
spread love. Love.
And I've had advocate for love in my Instagram bio for years and years and years now. I'm all about
I
that.
love
So
that.
you're right. Like we all need more love, right?
Oh my God, love is what makes us human. You know, I love love. Like I'm such a sucker for it. So, you know, in any way, just spreading love is so important.
I do too, and I actually wonder, okay, if I don't destroy it, on my wall, it's two people passing love to each other.
Oh my God, I love that.
Right? They're like neighbors hanging out a window, just two neighbors, just, you know, hanging out, passing some love.
It feels very fitting for like quarantine also.
Yeah,
you know,
right?
we're socially distanced. I love it.
I never thought about that. Oh my God, this was so much fun. Before I let you go, to all your fans tuned in right now who have stood by your side and cheering you on and are ride or die for you, what do you want to say to them?
I mean, just thank you. It's the cheesiest thing, but thank you. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be here without you guys, and your love and support means everything to me. So.
Danielle, thank you so much. I know you had a crazy day. Thank you for hanging on this Friday night, and I look forward to hopefully interviewing you in person in the near future.
Yes, I know, me too. But this was so much fun. Thank you.
All right, be well.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.